Hi. I'm back again. So I thought that today I will begin my episode with...
Honored to see you again, my Thane.
Oh, hello. So I will take the
I am your
bigger
sword and your
prints
shield.
and put it on the shelf here. Because I have read it. No. Store. Nice. Now let us take another one today and begin the episode with it. No, not the chest. Let us... Oh, I have another one. I have another beggar prince. Why not? Let it stay there. Now, what should we read today? Let's read the Battle of Red Mountain. I have this. Good works again. Oh, you can see the ring too. Anyway. Battle of Red Mountain. The Battle of Red Mountain and the rise and fall of the Tribunal. The following is a transcript of the words of Lord Vivek addressed to a dissident priest, Malor O'Main, who confronted Vivek with the Ashlander traditions surrounding the Battle of Red Mountain and with prophecies of the Nerevarine, interesting name, and to unnamed magistrates of the Inquisition who joined Vivek in interrogating the dissident priest, who can clearly recall the events of the distant past, but you have asked me to tell you in my own words. The events surrounding the Battle of Red Mountain, the birth of the Tribunal, and the prophecies of a Nerevar reborn. Here is what I can tell you. When the Chimera first abandoned the herds and tents of their nomadic ancestors and built the first great houses, we loved the Daedra and worshipped them as gods. But our brethren, the Dwemer, scorned the Daedra and mocked our foolish rituals, and preferred instead their gods of reason and logic. So the Chimera and Dwemer were always at bitter war until the Nords came and invaded Restane. Only then did the Chimera and Dwemer put away their strife and join together to cast out the invaders. Once the Nords were driven out, General Nerevar of the Chimera and General Tumak of the Dwemer, who had come to love and respect one another, resolved to make peace between their peoples. In that time I was but a junior counselor to Nerevar, and Nerevar's queen, Alma Lexia, and his other favorite counselor, Sodasel, always doubted that such a peace might long survive, given the bitter disputes between Chimera and Dwemer, but by negotiation and compromise, Nerevar and Tumak somehow managed to preserve a fragile peace. But when Dagot Ur, Lord of House Dagot, and trusted as a friend by both Nerevar and the Dwemer, brought us proof that High Engineer Gagrenag of the Dwemer had discovered the heart of Lorcan, and that he had learned how to tap its powers and was building a new god, a mockery of Chimera faith, and a fearsome weapon, we all urged Nerevar to make war on the dwarves and to destroy this threat to Chimera beliefs and security. Nerevar was troubled. He went to Tumak and asked if what Dagotur said was true. But the Gagrenag took great offense and asked whom Nerevar thought he was, that he might presume to judge the affairs of the Dwemer. Nerevar was further troubled, and made pilgrimage to Holamayan, the sacred temple of Azura, and Azura confirmed that all that Dagodur said was indeed true, and that creation of a new god of the Dwemer should be prevented at all costs. When Nerevar came back and told us what the goddess had said, we felt our judgments confirmed and again counselled him to war, chiding Nerevar for his naive trust in friendship and reminding Nerevar of his duty to protect the faith and security of the Chimera against the impiety and dangerous ambitions of the Dwemer. Then Nerevar went back to Ivardenfell one last time, hoping that negotiations and compromise might once again preserve the peace. But this time the friends Nerevar and Tuma quarrelled bitterly, and as a result the Chimera and Dwemer went to war. The Dwemer were well defended by their fortress at Red Mountain, but Nerevar's cunning threw most of Tumag's armies out into the field and pinned them there, while Nerevar, Dagodur, and a small group of companions could make their way into the heart chamber by secret means. There Nerevar, the Chimera King, met Tumag, the Dwarf King, and they both collapsed from grievous wounds and draining magics. With Tumag fallen and threatened by Dagodur and others, Kagrenag turned his tools upon the heart, and Nerevar said he saw Kagrenag and all his Dwemer companions at once disappear from the world. In that instant Dwemer everywhere disappeared without a trace, but Kagrenag's tools remained, and Dagodur seized them, and he carried them to Nerevar, saying that fool Kagrenag has destroyed his own people with these things. We should destroy them right away, lest they fall into the wrong hands. But Nerevar was resolved to confer with his queen and his generals, who had foreseen that this war would come, and whose counsel he would not ignore again. I will ask the tribunal what we shall do with them, for they have had wisdom in the past that I had not. Stay here, loyal Dagodur, until I return. So Nerevar told Dagodur to protect the tools and the heart chamber until he returned. Then Nerevar was carried to us where we waited on the slopes of Red Mountain, and he told us all that he had transpired on the Red Mountain. What Nerevar had said was that the Dwemer had used special tools to turn their people into immortals, and that the heart of Lord Khan held wondrous powers. Only later did we hear from others present that Dagodur had thought the Dwemer destroyed, not made immortal, and no one knows for sure what really happened there. After hearing Nerevar, we gave our counsel as he requested, proposing we should preserve these tools and trust for the welfare of the Chimera people. And who knows, perhaps the Dwemer are not gone forever, but merely transported to some distant realm from which they may someday return to threaten our security once again. Therefore we need to keep these tools to study them and their principles, so that we may be safe in future generations. And though Nerevar voiced his grave misgivings, he was willing to be ruled by our council, under one condition, that we all together should swear a solemn oath upon Azura that the tools would never be used in the profane manner that the Dwemer had intended. We all readily agreed and swore solemn oaths to Nerevar's dictation. So then we went with Nerevar back into Red Mountain and met with Dagodur. Dagodur refused to deliver the tools to us, saying they were dangerous and we could not touch them. Tagadur seemed to be irrational, insisting that only he could be trusted with the tools. And then we guessed that he had somehow been affected by his handling of the tools, but now I feel sure that he had privately learned the powers of the tools, and had in some confused way decided he must have them for himself. Then Nerevar and our god resorted to force to secure the tools. Somehow Tagadur and his retainers escaped, but we gained the tools and delivered them to Sodar Sil for study and safekeeping. For some years we kept the oaths we swore to Azura with Nerevar, but during that time in secret Sodar Sil must have studied the tools and divined their mysteries. And at last he came to us with a vision of a new world of peace, with justice and honor for nobles, and health and prosperity for the commoners, with a tribunal and as immortal patrons and guides, and dedicating ourselves to this vision of a better world, we made a pilgrimage to Red Mountain and transformed ourselves with the power of Gagrenag's tools. And no sooner than we had completed our rituals and begun to discover our newfound powers, the Daedra, Lord Azura, appeared and cursed us for our forsaken oaths. By her powers of prophecy, she assured us that her champion Nerevar, true to his oath, would return to punish us for our perfidy, and to make sure such profane knowledge might never again be used to mock and defy the will of the gods. But Sodar Sil said to her, "The old gods are cruel and arbitrary, and distant from the hopes and fears of men. Your age is past, we are the new gods, born of the flesh, and wise and caring of the needs of our people. Spare us your threats and chiding, inconstant spirit. We are bold and fresh and will not fear you." And then, in that moment, all Chimera were changed into Dunmer, and our skins turned ashen, and our eyes into fire. Of course, we only knew at that time that this had happened to us, but Azura said, "This is not my act, but your act. You have chosen your fate and the fate of your people, and all the Dunmer shall share your fate. From now to the end of time, you think yourselves gods, but you are blind, and all is darkness." And Azura left us alone in darkness, and we were all afraid, but we put on brave faces and went forth from Red Mountain to build the new world of our dreams. And the new world we shaped was glorious and generous, and the worship of the Dunmer fervent and grateful. The Dunmer were at first afraid of their new faces, but Sodar Sil spoke to them, saying that it was not a curse, but a blessing, a sign of their changed natures, and sign of the special favor they might enjoy as new mer. No longer barbarians trembling before ghosts and spirits, but civilized mer speaking directly to their immortal friends and patrons. The three faces of the tribunal, and we were all inspired by Sodar Sil's speech and vision, and took heart. Over time, we crafted the customs and institutions of a just and honorable society, and the land of Restain knew millennia of peace, equity, and prosperity unknown to other savage races. But beneath Red Mountain, Tagadur had survived, and even as the light of our bold new world shined ever more brightly, beneath Red Mountain the darkness gathered, a darkness that was close kin to the bright light that Sodar Sil coaxed from the heart of Lorkhan with the tools of Gagrenag. As the darkness grew, we fought it and crafted walls to confine it, but we never could destroy it. but the source of the darkness was the same source as the source of our own divine inspiration. And in these latter days of Morrowind, reduced to a subjugated province of the Western Empire, as the glory of the temple fades and the dark tide rises from Red Mountain, we are reminded of Azura and her promised champion's return. We have waited, blind and in darkness, mere shadows, drained of our ardent vision, in shame of our folly, in fear of our judgment, and in hope of our deliverance. We do not know if the outlander claiming to fulfill the prophecies of the Nerevarine is our old companion Nerevar reborn, or a pawn of the Emperor, or a cat's paw of Azura, or some simple twist of fate. But we insist you adhere to temple doctrine and conform to the strictures dividing the hieroglypha from the apocrypha, and that you not speak that which must not be spoken openly. Act as a dutiful priest should, in accordance with your vows of obedience to the canons and arcanons, and all will be forgiven. Defy me, and you will know what it is to stand against the god Vivek. That was wow. I have to say that was a really good book. I have to store it here for sure. We have 2 books now. And it reset again. Good. Well, I will reset it again. Well, that was great. Battle for Red Mountain, everyone. The Battle of Red Mountain and the rise and fall of the Tribunal. I guess this is a new type of mini-series of sorts, which is part of the main series. Just so you can, if you are interested in these books and want to listen to me, though my reading style isn't the best, but still you have the option. So if you want to do that, then just be my guest. I will do more of these. Of course, not every single episode, because I want to actually progress in the game too. But I want to know more of these little stories about the world of Skyrim and the entire world in general here. Alright, I'll see you next time, and next time we will go adventuring again. Somewhere. Oh, by the way, I also know how to fix this problem. Oh, never mind, it fixed itself. But there is a way for commands. You can use a command to manually complete the quest if it bugs out like that. Then you just need to find the quest ID of the quest and then bring in these. I don't know how the stage IDs work, the stage numbers. You have basically there is a command which allows you to manually complete quests without actually completing them, which I won't ever use. But if something like that happens again, like it did for me, then I will have to. And the resurrect command, of course, which helps fix quest bugs. These 2 are the things that I will want to use as commands, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to complete the quest. I want to complete every quest the game has. Well, the miss quests regenerate most of these. But as far as I know, these do not. So I will complete all quests in the game which include story, actual story. Because quests like the bounty letters and such, like this one or this one, the bounty letter quests do not contain actual story. So they aren't exactly something I need to complete. Well, I will complete them every now and then, but they aren't the thing which makes me say that I completed the game, because I can't. These regenerate all the time. They are indefinite quests, infinite. But every other quest in the game I will complete. So that's my goal. And I will keep to it. It'll take a long time, because Skyrim is about 300 hours long, if I remember correctly. About 300 hours. I have played about 20, 30, something like that. So, about 10 times more to go. Good. Alright, anyway. Bye for now, and I'll see you in the next session.